Okay, welcome to yet another Raw Wednesday, week 3, challenge 3, and this week, as you would have seen if you watched the video the other day, I was challenged by the challenge, now I'm trying to remember it, of Foreground subject. That was it. Yeah, I mean, I've just been editing that video from Monday and I shot it this morning, so I'm just very tired. Okay, but now we're gonna look at the pictures, and I have to do the videos like this because I need to edit the pictures to put in the video for the photography on location vlog that goes out on a Monday. So I need to record Raw Wednesday now. It's a logistical nightmare. A logistical nightmare, but it's exciting. So I hope you've been enjoying Raw Wednesdays. It's probably not everyone's cup of tea because it is so raw and very bland. Yeah, okay, so let's look at the pictures we have. Now, these are back to front. Let's do them in date order. There we go. So that was the very first one I took with the foreground. The foreground, let's get my pen. The foreground being this here. These trees. Like this. Can you see what I was doing there? And then, oh, can I change colour? How would I change colour? Whoa! So then we have our midground here, this area, especially with this castle here. And then we have our beautiful background along here. And then on top of that, the sky. So with that, we have created this frame. And our eye is taken through the frame to the castle, the midground, to the background, to the sky. There we go. And what I've created there is some lovely abstract art. So let's. Oh no, this is not. There must be a way to like delete everything in one go, or even just turn them off. No, need to look into that. So anyway, that was the composition. That was me doing the challenge. Now, in retrospect, in hindsight, you could say that I didn't really do the challenge properly. That it wasn't really a foreground subject, like this perhaps. It's quite nice, isn't it? What I did here, well, that was the first composition. This, you'll notice this tree here. I couldn't work around it. It was really annoying. So my thought was that because it's with the sky behind it, I can just like. Well, let's do it. Let's heel brush it in one massive go. He doesn't like such a big heel. We'll forget that. We'll mess around with that later. Right, so let's pick the best picture. Now this has got some beautiful pink in the sky there. Now as we see the lights coming on a bit more. Oh, also, which I didn't show in the video because you know, there's so many extra bits I could show and it just gets a bit faffy, the video. I put the polarizer on and it does like make it all pop a bit, plus the fact that you can see here we got some shadows, we got some side light coming in. So polarizer and some side light really like makes it pop, doesn't it? Oh, and then, which again I didn't show, I was a bit annoyed because you can see here how this is just kind of cut off. So I raised up the tripod a bit more, or raised the camera on the tripod just so this wasn't cut off. But now, I don't know, now I'm looking at it like this. See, look, we'll look at this light coming along. So this is over like half an hour period. It goes from that to that. Which one do we think? You should let me know in the comments which pictures you prefer. If you would have picked the same one. This one's got that pink glow. So that's a potential. But then we get the side light coming in. See, I feel like there is, it's a bit too daylighty. Depending on what. Oh, let's find a middle grey like that. Oh, we need to get the dust spot out. Oh no, oh, we want for that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now that I've got the white balance right. Yeah, let's go with that last one. Just clip in the top of the castle here. Is this level? Let's level this. Let's use the side of the building. There we go, nice and straight. I mean, number one thing you can do is just make sure things are straight. Crop. What are we thinking? 5x7? No, 4x5. And actually I want to crop it in quite tight. Because we want to keep this framing Oh no, not what I wanted to do. I wanted this thing here. There we go. Right, so we can see this nice group of trees here. We could put that on the third. We could put the cut, although that's not a third, is it? No, I've forgotten how we. Anyway, let's not faff around with that. So we kind of put that in the third and that on the third. Let's get rid of that grid. Slightly out of focus, which kind of helps us keep that framing. Now, what I want to do is exaggerate this framing. So what we could do is use the brush layer. I'm going to call this Foreground, and make it about that size, 50 opacity, 50 flow, and then I'm going to bring the exposure down to stop and just kind of. Now obviously it gets a bit difficult around there, so we're not going to bother with the mask around there, I don't think. A7riiis. And what we can do, we can adjust that. It's about half a stop. Now I want to do the sky. So what I like to do is create a gradient mask, which isn't G, it's L. I think G is Photoshop. And then shift and pull down, and it's going to stay at level, whereas if I let go and shift it, it'll just spin. So shift and hold down, M, probably about there. Now, one of the issues here that I have to be aware of is anything I do to the sky will affect this bush. So we don't want to do anything too crazy because we want it to look natural. But what we could do is just pull in the highlights a bit. And do I want to pop the shadow a little bit on the... just a touch. Contrast up or down. Let's leave that. Saturation. Let's just go a little bit, 10. Actually, what I could do, instead of doing a universal saturation, what we can do, which is great with this, I can just affect the blue channel. So, color editor on the color tab, choose blue, and no, let's do it this way. I was just thinking, because what we could do is just select that hue. What I want to do is just select that color range, and then there's barely any much of that color in there. It's like almost a white. But anyway, let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way. Saturation. Yeah, that definitely just makes it pop. What we could even do is change the hue. No, let's do that, and the cyan. No, we'll leave it. So just that. So we just affected the actual blue colour and not the green in the picture. What about our mid-ground? Look how sharp that is. Woo! F10 at 100mm on the Sigma 100 to 400. It's a pretty sharp lens when you stop it down a bit. Wide open, it's not fantastic. But yeah, I'm liking this. It's got some nice layering going on. Yeah, we just want to make this middle ground pop here with the light and highlight this castle a little bit. But what I'm going to do, I just want to make some kind of adjustments to the bottom half, which I always refer to as the land, and then I'm going to copy the mask from the sky, then invert it, so there we go, bottom half. And because we've got a lot of detailed things in here, I always like to add a bit of structure, which is kind of a sharpness, but is a more targeted sharpness to edges. So if I zoom in, really crack it up, and we can see how it's sharpened them. Add a bit of contrast in there as well, but I just like to do it a little bit. Let's not go crazy. I always like a little bit of clarity in there as well. Now I don't think. Ooh, let's do a little bit because it is bleeding over into the sky. Shadow. Do I want to? No. Do I almost want to bring it down a little bit? because then we're going to highlight this lovely light shining. Do I want to add a little bit of contrast as well? Now naturally, because it's quite easy for people to go like this, but I actually like it to go the other way. I like a lack of contrast, really. I really like the soft kind of gradation of the darks and the lights slowly kind of smoothly coming into each other rather than harsh like that. So somewhere in the middle, but I'll leave it as it is. Now, do I actually want to... What I could do is just warm it up a bit. I mean, that's what it's shot at. It's quite cold. I mean, it was a cold morning. I'm going to put that there like that. Do I want to add saturate? It's pretty saturated. I might actually take a bit of saturation out. Let's think about taking a bit of saturation out the greens only. There we go. Kind of, because them greens, so we added saturation, it's just a bit garish, whereas we take it out, it kind of makes these warmer tones, the browns and the light, just pop a bit more. In fact, let's just saturate the oranges a little bit and the reds. Yeah, okay. Let's do it before and after. So before, after, before, after. I like it. I like it a lot. So let's do that as a 3. Next, let's look at these. Now, it's hard to tell sometimes, so what I will do is just whack up the shadows. I don't need to do that. Bring up the exposure a bit. So we've got this lovely kind of whiteness running through from the foreground here with these, I don't know what you call them. What are they called? Are they just reeds? Water reeds. They're a particular kind. Swamp canes. Swamp canes. Okay, interesting. Cane grass. Anyway, there we go. We'll refer to them as swamp canes. So the swamp canes have got a nice contrasty white and black, and amongst this lovely minty green colour. Then some nice white here. Again, some contrasting darkness with the tree, and then a white to kind of very light blue sky. Now, first of all, I don't like any of this. It's a foreground, but really these swamp canes are the foreground. Let's just compare it with this composition. It probably works better there, or it's more of a central, but there's less stuff in the way. I mean, let's put it on a third. It kind of, you don't see much of that, so let's try this one. We'll go with this one, I'd say. So we actually managed to get all that dynamic range in that one raw image, so I don't need them. Little dust spot there, and so I've cropped it. I quite like the crop. We've got a foreground here, some nice frost. It's very white, isn't it? It's a very kind of high key image, and I don't know if I need to do too much. I could actually like it being very bright, that sky, because we got a white theme going on basically, or very light blue that's almost white. You could almost turn this into black and white image, but I actually like the minty green in here as well. And we've actually got, you see, this kind of diagonal running across that adds to it as well. So almost it's like dividing the image in two basically, with this nice green and then a very light blue white kind of colour, with them complementing each other as well. So I think I'm just going to do a few like universal changes, because there's really not much I want to add to this. Anything I might see, adding contrast, no, that's just a no-no. Almost want to take it away. Let's actually bring that up a touch. Highlight down a bit. This about 15. I mean, can't really compare it before and after because it was such a underexposed foreground. But I think I just like it like that. Very simple, understated. Maybe instead of doing that, let's remove a bit of green again. Yes. Or the other option is we can change the hue towards more of a blue, or lighten it a touch. What if we lighten it a bit and remove a bit of saturation? Now Alt, so if I click that, it's going to reset these settings. So if I put them back, but if I Alt and hold that down, and keep it held down, it will temporarily resets this one particular setting or box. So the moment I let go, it put it back. So it's a good way of just comparing before and after, if it makes much difference. And yeah, I might make it a bit lighter. Yeah, there we go. That I like. Now I could play around with the temperature, but I really don't think I want to. It's like a middle grey, but it's very close to what it should be anyway. Yeah, and also we've got this. Let's get a more interesting colour. So we've got this kind of diagonal here, and then we've got green one side, bluey white the other, but they're also kind of complementing each other, with the whites and the blues are very close to the minty greens here. So we've got that as one thing, but also we've got 1, 2, 3 trees that just nicely kind of work the opposite direction. So you get this kind of zigzag diagonal thing going on. So yeah, so there we go. Now there's our 2 pictures. Yep. Now what we need to do is look at the first week's challenge. Now, logistics again, we can look at the entries for the minimalism challenge the first week. So let's go find them. So here we go. Here is all the entries, and actually one is my mother's and another one is from a good friend. So let's look at Lucy's first, her one. Lens and Gems on Instagram. Now, minimalism. So how is it minimalist? Well, there's not too much going on in this, so our focus straight away, because of kind of the brightness and the shapes as well, our eyes are taken to it, the spider's web. And also we got a nice grey kind of mid-tone running all the way through the image, and the spider's web just kind of pops out slightly highlighted, especially with these kind of, I guess, beads of water, just specular highlights really reflecting the light, just making it pop a bit more. So there's some really nice shapes in here, but combine that with the very nice grey monotone, almost black and white. It could even just actually be a black and white image actually but it just helps remove distractions because it is black and white, and we can focus on just the shapes. Even this metal gate, I'm guessing this is, there's some lovely textures that are almost kind of reflected from the kind of hexagonal and triangles, all these things kind of reflected in not only the shape of the gate, but also the textured metal in it as well. So that's really nice picture, Lucy. Well done for that. And then this one here is from my mother. She sells wedding dresses if anyone needs one. Julia's Bridal. Now this one she took with her phone, and this is the MacArthur Glen outlet in Ashford, Kent, which is, you know, a nice place to go if you want to spend some money. But what she's done here, we've got lines driving our focus straight down towards these lovely shapes here of the sails almost of the outlet, and then right at the top here the sun. So we've got loads of kind of lines and shapes, and then just sticking out with this beautiful red hedgerows that help lead the eye up towards the sun. So really nice picture, Mother. Well done. So thank you for both taking part in that. And you know, this week's theme, this week's challenge is to have a foreground subject. So have a go. Use your phone, use whatever camera you want, put it on Instagram, put the hashtag that's in the video, and join in, and we can see what each other's come up with and share ideas and learn off each other. So let's just end this today with the 2 images, not that one. Here we go. So there we go. There's 2 of my foregrounds, both quite different, but taken on the same morning, different compositions, different foregrounds, different midgrounds, different backgrounds, and there we go. Tell me what you think. Do you think you would have edited them different? You would have chosen different pictures? I'd love to hear what you have to say, because by no means am I the oracle of picture editing. No way. I need to learn. This is all trial and error at the end of the day for me. And they're the ones I happen to like anyway. Thanks for watching if you've made it all the way through this. Well done. And see you for the next instalment of the Jamie Gillis Photography Challenge. See ya.